thing out there and you look like Kevin Van Dam smallmouth fishing, it's jerk, 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 jerk. All you did was jerk your bait at the end of the day. You might catch one or two, but that's it. And that is a hard thing for a spinnerbait fisherman to ever adjust to. God knows the first couple times I ever tried to do that, that was impossible. Whoever rolled in, I went up there to pre-fish one day and the grass was done. There was no matted grass fishing. Well, they jumped off the plane and they looked at me and said, well, are we ready? And I'm like, yep. They said, how are we going to catch them? I'm like, jerkbait fishing. They've known me for a long, long time, this crew I was working with. They're like, this is going to be ugly. This is going to be real ugly. We caught them. We flat smoked them. And it was in January. A little warming trend and fish had moved up on them, up on top of the flat right there at that break. And everywhere there was a break, they were in there and they were in there thick. But the whole deal, that day and any other time I've ever caught them jerking a jerkbait, you gotta let it sit. Literally, when I make that long cast and I wind it down there and I pull it twice, and I stop and the boat's drifting toward it, maybe if it's a real good cast, I'll get to pull it. One more time, stop, and most of the time by then the boat's to it and I got to reel in and fire it again. When you get a bite in these areas, you will trigger a school of fish, or there'll be a big enough school of fish. If you'll just mark it, you can make the same presentation and catch the same fish over and over again. You're pulling fish up. You already understand where the shad and the bait fish is. It's not a deal where you've got to bring it by there. You're bringing the bait down, and these fish will move a long ways to get the bait. That's a great question. Usually I'm casting toward the bank. And what so many times, the places that shine to me the most. All right, forgive my artwork here. We're talking about the bank being like this, okay? We're in here with the water, there's our little water. All right, this to me, that's springtime. That's where we all like to fish, okay? Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder, all right? They're not going to catch them this time of the year. But now, let's get right here. Look at this. This is vertical. This is where the majority of the life in the lake's at. If I'm right here, and I'm throwing the right here, not a lot of good things are going to happen. And believe me, y'all talking about a bank beater back before you guys, you know, y'all's age and younger. That boat needs to be here. That bait needs to hit here. And when I wind it down and then stop, then everything that's going on right here will come to that. When you get your first bite, and again, bad artwork, when you get your first bite doing this, then you get confidence to stay off that bank. You can absolutely wreck it. And them fish are just feeding and feeding and feeding. Again, everybody talks about cold weather fish. They don't feed up a lot. Look at the size of fish you guys catch. Look at the size of fish we show you on the FLW and the BASS tournaments this time of the year. They look like they swallowed 2 golf balls or a truckload of golf balls. I mean, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. They got shoulders on them. It's because they're feet. Now, every now and then, you'll run into a situation. Again, now I'm talking about water temperature less than 55 degrees on Main Lake. Because when you get above that, then we got other things that's going on that lake. When you put that boat in and it's over 55, 58, yeah, people, going back to my water temp theory, people are like, well, you said water temperature wasn't important. When it gets that warm, we're talking about the length of day. We're looking at 13, 14-hour days. These fish know then to go here. They know that. They can't think about it, but they know it. But now, right now, we're wanting to figure out, where's this at? Okay, that's a great question. And depth is a relative term based upon the lake, but it's a perfect question. And here's what I'm going to say with that. Sharon Harris, that we all know. I break Sharon Harris into, let's say, halves. What I mean by half is, you know where the ramp is at the dam. Okay? You know where the ramp is mid-lake. From mid-lake down, either arm. Mid-lake down, either arm. To me, that's the stuff I would be looking at. There, and the beauty of Sharon Harris, there's not a bad creek on that lake. There really isn't. Take, for instance, come out of the dam ramp. First 2 creeks on the left. Okay, first two major creeks on the left, whatever their name, there's 6 or 7 points on each one of them. If you ride them with the depth finder, you'll see they're all textbook. You're out there in the channel, and then chances are your boat most of the time sitting in 22, 24 foot of water, and you're casting a half off the bank. If my boat gets less than 14 foot of water this time of the year that I'm throwing to, I'm too close. I'm wanting to pull that fish out of 14 foot of water. Gaston's a little bit different in the fact that you're going to be a little bit shallow. Gaston's a little bit flatter lake. Okay, we're in a situation with all the stumps and everything, but still, this time of the year, I don't want my boat in less than 16, 17 foot of water because I want that vertical drop. If it's not a vertical drop, I don't want anything to do with it right now. If it's that slow tapering, you know, that's the end of March. That's the end of March. And you'll see it on your depth finder when these fish make a migration and they're done with that. You will literally see it. If you get to keep up with fish like we do and stay on the water, I can all around in 2 hours and tell you whether this is going on or not and how many different places on the lake. And the minute it's done, it'll look like your flat screen just went blank. The bait's gone, the fish is gone. And they're right there in front of you where we all like to catch them at. But the biggest thing with this is having the discipline to sit that far off the bank and make that cast and be able to wind that bait down there and kill it. I cannot tell you how many times I'm sitting there trying to go 1,000, 18,000, he's got it. And it's literally just a worm tap for that day. All right. Here's my 10-cent theory on colors. The brighter the day, the more translucent the bait needs to be. I'll give you an example. Bright sunny day, this one right here is a ghost member. Bright sunny day, you want a bait that can see through. You want a bait that's translucent. Okay? Remember, a big fish, a big bass is what I call in our world a perfect predator. He didn't get that big by being dumb. He doesn't make many mistakes. But when that fish decides to feed, he's darn good at it. And he won't miss. But I have seen too many times, and I'm sure you guys and ladies have too, where that big fish will run up right there to the bait, right as you get ready to bring it in, and then turn. Okay? Everybody's like, oh, he saw the boat, bless his heart. You can see the boat. Whatever color you had wasn't the color. Because if he, by God, wanted it, how many times have you had a fish right at the boat when you pulled your lure out and take the darn rod from you? It's the color. The brighter the day, the more translucent the lure. The darker the day, who's got the right depth zone, that's the key. And let it sit. And you'd be surprised how much water you can cover doing this too, because here's what I mean. Don't sit there and make 15 casts at the same point. Hit 3 or 4 casts on that point. Your partner's with you, he's hit 3 or 4 casts. We're talking about a vertical water column. If that fish hadn't got it in, he's not going to get it if you sit there and make 100. Go to the next point. Go to the next gut. It will surprise you in a 10 or 12 hour days. If that's all you're going to do, because you know that's the depth zone they're going to be at, don't get on the flat points. Don't get suckered into the flat points. Steeper. We want vertical. Fish are going to move horizontal. Set up in places where you see that on the depth finder. First half of the creek out. That's going to be what they're always there. They're always there. I don't know if you guys.